Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my name is James, aka Furry K. Welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to go kind of on a rant, I should say, of YouTube and video games becoming mainstream. I would say YouTube side of things and the kind of slight problem with it. I'm going to start off with the upsides. The first upside of video games and YouTube becoming mainstream is Overwatch now has a coverage from ESPN of every time there is a MLG like esports event for Overwatch. ESPN will actually now cover it. Number two, with Call of Duty and everything like that and its esports coverage, there have been many YouTubers who have actually made a name for themselves when making like videos and stuff like that. They'll actually be very popular and will actually, what's it called? Will actually get a lot of notice, and we'll get a lot of sponsorships and everything like that. I know a lot of YouTubers, they did that on their own, stuff like that, but there's some companies that they wouldn't even been noticed unless they had some sort of notice by the media or something like that. Especially people like Nate Shot, early in the years when he was doing all that crap and he was doing Call of Duty, it took him a while for it. Now I know people are gonna roast me and be like, "Oh, you're a Nate Shot fan, blah blah blah, you cringy little kid." Yes, I was a Nate Shot fan for a while. I gave up on that after a while because I lost interest, and people lose interest on trends and stuff like that. I'm gonna give my opinions. I've always been kind of the one where I will be in last place to know about something when it's popular. So that was my way for a while. I kind of fell in line being the last person to know who PewDiePie was. Like, I knew him in his earlier days, but wasn't interested, and then around the time everything like changed and everything like that, it all changed when Fire Nation attacked. I think that's kind of what's changed really is, I don't think that, I think that it's good that now YouTube has a mainstream coverage, because you had people like, this person, Lily Singh now has her, I think it's like her own TV show or something like that. I hate that YouTuber so much. I'm sorry. So I think that's one thing. I think another thing is good is for people who mainstream media has ruined kind of YouTube, because YouTube didn't have any idea of making a YouTube Red series until it started seeing like streaming services and everything like that. If YouTube hadn't known anything about streaming services or had not been interested in the streaming services, we wouldn't have YouTube Red. If YouTube had just stayed in their own lane, we wouldn't have these problems. But the other problem would have been nobody would have known about Article 13 being pushed and it affecting the internet and everything like that. So, that being said, I think the one problem we have here is YouTube is just, it's a mess in itself. I think that YouTube needs to go back to the way it was when it first, was out and everything like that. It needs to stop having bots that are messing up the platform, and stuff like that. But another thing I'm gonna say is people who messed up gaming. I'm gonna go ahead to the first one, because the first one I think everybody can agree with me on is people like Anita Sarkeesian. Now, if you don't know who Anita Sarkeesian is, she's a third wave feminist who decided, hey, I'm gonna go after and attack gamers, especially guys, because I believe that gamers are sexist pigs who attack gamers, and I think I can hide it in plain sight if I pretend to be a gamer. Now, just because you pretend to be a gamer doesn't mean you are a gamer. You know, unless you're really good at a game, I think that you do not count as a gamer. Now, that's not to say that people who don't, like, they play video games off and on, you know, or as a real stress reliever, are not gamers. I've heard of many studies where if you play games for a certain amount of hours, it actually helps relieve stress, helps get the anger out. If you play games that are really calming, you play games like Journey, you play games like The Witness, stuff like that, those games tend to be stress relievers. They tend to be very calming. They tend to be very helpful to the human psyche. And so, with that being said, a lot of the times you will find those games to be very helpful to help relieve stress. But again, with the media will paint video games as the bad guy. I've seen it way too many times. You'll see it in TV shows too. I've seen episodes, I think it was, I want to say, NCIS, or they like did a test on somebody who played GTA. It was in a murder case, and so they were doing a study. I think it was Law and Order actually, or NCIS, whichever of the two. And they were showing a study, and they were doing like brain scans of people reacting to like certain like parts of GTA, and they were going around killing people, stuff like that, and they were scanning his brain to see, you know, if it actually affected him in any way or platform, any form. And when they saw it, they were shocked to find that they actually did. No, that's not how that works. Okay, the person I believe, I'm not a doctor, but I believe that the person has to have some sort of mental disturbance or mental problems before going into actually playing those type of games. And I believe I think the media just needs to take their hands off of looking at certain games and stuff like that, and just let people be people who do stuff. I mean, yes, I'm gonna go after furries next episode, or next rant, and I'll talk about that next. But I just think the media needs to keep their hands out of places where they don't need it. And they've been doing that with video games since the era of, you know, mass shootings, everything like that happening, which I don't care if I get, you know, hit with YouTube's stupid takedown crap, at this point, because I don't make money off these videos, so, they did it with, I think there was one mass shooting where they thought it was because of Gears of War that these people had planned to shoot up their school or whatever. There was one like Columbine. There was, I believe it was Sandy Hook, is where they blamed video games on too. But yeah, with that being said, I think that people need to. It's not the games to blame. You cannot blame an inanimate object for something that the parents first off should have kept an eye on the kid, especially if they were mentally unstable. First off, if your kid is not old enough to play the game, do not have them play the game. Thirdly, if you have a problem with, you know, gaming in general because it's selling like hotcakes way more than your programming, that's your problem. I mean, I don't even watch the news anymore because it's so inaccurate. It's their information. I could go back and look and see that, hey, your information isn't accurate. Or, I mean, I remember journalism used to be journalism where they got their facts straight. They went to the right sources. They didn't rely on other resources. They didn't rely on other journalists to do their job for them. And they got the job done and they got it right. Now, yes, they're allowed to have their own ideals, but you can't, nobody wants to hear your ideals. Keep it to yourself. It's freedom of speech, I know. And you're going to say, oh, it's freedom of speech, freedom of speech. They have rules actually in journalism where you're not allowed to tell your own opinion on, unless you're in a debate, you're not allowed to give your opinion on air. Actually, it's against the rules, especially on a news broadcast. And most of the time, they do that now. And it's crazy to me. It's one rule that you're not allowed to break. But back to the gaming at hand. Gaming at hand has done well for itself with like esports, with people getting sponsorships. That's why you see like people like Dr. Disrespect getting a lot of sponsorships. You see YouTubers like Mini Lad who get sponsorships and end up actually getting a freaking soccer stadium in his name. You see people like, you know, many YouTubers who get like TV shows, you get like sponsorships to be on air. I know, if I remember correctly, Markiplier was on like Conan and like Jimmy Kimmel, and I want to say, I think he was on Ellen once. I don't think he was on Ellen, no. But yeah, guys, that being said, I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out more of my videos. And with that being said, guys, I love you. Peace.